2024. This is going to be our first video whenever you'll be watching for 2024. And guys, I was going to do the second part of the last video I did, but I said it's a new year. Let me share something that is quite new, something that is different from what I shared last year. So guys, if you are watching anywhere, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you to our old viewers and subscribers. We are so grateful for all your support, emotional, whatever means you've been supporting us, whether by sharing our videos. We really do appreciate. Guys, this is 2024. We survived 2023. Did you ever imagine, with the hardship, the difficulties you experienced in 2023, that you were going to survive and reach 2024? I think there were points in my life when I was like, in 2023, when I was like, wow, what a year, but God has given us another chance to be able to witness another year, and it's quite early on in 2024. It's still another opportunity we've been granted to be able to make better choices, to be able to do things differently and get different results. If we've been doing it and getting wrong results, this is a time of doing something different and getting a different result. And if you're watching me and you're like, wow, because what I'm going to be sharing today is something that I think so many people have asked me in different ways. It's like, what have you gained? Like, what is that one thing, that measure thing that you've gained by giving your life to Christ or surrendering to Christ? I reach out and I do this video today because I want to answer that question, and also I want to reach out to somebody who is struggling, in their faith, who is struggling in their belief, who is like, since I took this step of faith, what has changed in my life? It's good to really take time and examine, because when they asked me that question, I was like, wow, truly this is deep, Why don't I sit down and really reflect on this? I know there are so many things that I can quickly just say when it comes to the experiences and the difference I've experienced in my life after giving my life to Christ, or after surrendering to Christ, like my previous video said. And it's one of those things that I was like, wow, what is the main thing? What is the main thing? And when I look, I see so many things, which is why I'm going to be having so many parts to this video eventually, because I'm going to be citing other things that I've experienced. But today I'm going to be talking about the major thing that I experienced in my life, aside praying more, aside being able to fast, aside just having peace and all of that. The greatest thing God did for me when I made that step of faith was that He sent me divine help. Guys, sometimes I sit and I'm like, wow, how did this happen? Like I said in my previous video, when I gave my life to Christ was at a peak of the disappointment I experienced in my failed marriage. It was a point in my life where I did not know how I was going to survive. I lost everything. I mean, virtually everything. I came home with a traveler's bag after living home for years, carrying my stuff from when I used to be by myself, plus the stuff that I worked with my ex-husband, and all of that put together. I lost everything, and I came back to shame, disgrace, fear, worry about how my next steps were going to be, how my life was going to be, how the life of my kids were going to look like, how my future looked like. I didn't have any clue as to how I was going to survive. But God stepped into my life in a way that when I sit today and tell people, and that is why one of the reasons that I've written my book, soon by the grace of God it will be published. That is one of the things that I said, you know what, I need to write my book. There is so much to be written. There is so much that I cannot just, only do in videos. I need to put this all in writing. The greatest thing, guys, like I said before, that God did to me when I gave my life to Christ was divine help. God met me at the point of my need. My greatest cry, like I cited before, were those things that were my worries. How am I going to move forward from here? And which is why I even stayed in an abusive relationship for quite a long time, because I kept thinking, what if I leave? If I leave, how am I going to survive? And if you're in that place where you're struggling, in a place you're just tied in a place, and you're thinking, if I leave from here, how am I going to move forward? Let my story inspire you. So when I left, I had nothing. I went back home. I was gossiped. I was embarrassed. I was asked questions that I didn't have quick answers to, and believe me, guys, I just took a step of it. I said, God, I want to surrender to you. I don't want to live by myself. I need answers to my questions. I need to move forward with a backup, divine backup. And when I did that, I was clueless. You know, the greatest joy to me was just having that peace that I have God, but I didn't know that God had greater plans for me. The first thing God did for me was to bring me into a community with Daddy Umaru Emmanuel, pastor who led me to Christ. And from there, I had like some sort of a community in the church. That was not all. It was through Daddy Umaru that was introduced to the pastor in the US, who was able to support me financially for me to begin business. That was divine help, because that man was not helping only me. He had a list of people he was helping, but he was so focused on my case. And that could only be God, because this is somebody that never knew me. I mean, it took years for him to ever meet me face to face, you know, or meet my children. But when my name was in that list, he kept telling the pastor, he's like, God keeps pointing me to this lady and her children. And this man helped me in ways that I can never even thank God enough for, or thank him enough for, you know. And Daddy Umaru and the family, they prayed for me. Like, divine help came in so many ways. There were answers to my prayers that I would never have imagined. That aside, that was Cameroon, and that was a community that I knew, people that I could relate with, people from my color and everything. So to an extent, I was like, okay, they are helping me because, yes, God is helping me through them, but they are helping me also because they know me. So when I came to Canada, God still showed me in a great way that, Leslie, I am giving you divine help. And divine help to me from God that is so special is the fact that God gave me help in such a way that, you know, he sent people that I've never met, people that I've never known, that even my country exists on the planet. You know, they didn't know. They know there's Africa, but they didn't know that there was a country specifically that is Cameroon. These are people who have never met me, who did not know my background or anything. These people welcomed me into their homes. These people gave me money. These people supported me. These people went out of their way to do. I'm talking about the ladies I met at church. I know I need to talk to them before I can call out their names, but they know themselves whenever they watch my videos. These ladies stood by me. They never knew me anywhere, but they stood by me. They made sure I ate. They made sure I drank. They made sure I had a place to live in. They were not afraid. I mean, divine help is such a thing. You know, sometimes people want to help you and they have reservations, you know. They're like, oh, what if we help and she comes to our house and does something? They didn't have any worry when it came to that. These ladies helped me. I met one of their mother and father-in-law. They decided to become my father. They said it themselves. This is our Cameroonian daughter. They did everything for me. They took me places. They drove me. I didn't have a car then. I couldn't drive. They drove me to places. They drove me to my exams room. They drove me to my appointments. You know, there were a series of appointments that I had to do. There were so many, like just following up with my permanent residency. And then I met my lawyer. Oh my goodness, she was amazing. You know, she did all she could. She spent sleepless nights. There were times that I got emails from this lady at 12 midnight. You know, it's the time difference where it's like Cameroon is different, or the countries they were relating with my documents were different from the time zone in Canada, maybe 6 hours back. So sometimes she got feedback late in the night from my country or from where the passports were, and she needed immediate response. That lady sent me email at that time. She didn't sleep. Like, you know, all these things together with the church community I met, the people they help and they support, like I cannot mention all of that, but to be candid, these are the main things that I've seen in my life, and I've known that over the years. I've seen that so many times, repeatedly, how God gives me divine help. So divine help is one of the major things that I've gained from when I became a child of God, from the moment that I surrendered to Christ. Okay, whoever asked me this question, I hope I answered your question correctly. I hope you are able to be satisfied. If you have more questions concerning this subject matter or concerning divine help and how it came true for me, then leave it in the comment section and I'm going to be answering more, because guys, I am overwhelmed when I talk about God sending me divine help. I am just so speechless. You know, I can't say details in a single video, but guys, if you ask me more questions, if you come to me directly, I'm going to be answering this question for you. So I hope this inspires you. I hope if you are on your life or journey, you can also pray for divine help. You know, I didn't pray so much for divine help, but I knew in my heart, I had that worry, I had that thought that how am I going to live, you know, and God answered even my thought. The Bible says the Spirit of God is able to interpret even our groanings before the Father. That was what happened. There were groanings that I had that I didn't know how the answers were going to come from. But over time, especially when I came to Canada, over time, God used different people occupying different stages, occupying different places in my life, and they came through for me in different ways, yet amazing ways. And together, their contribution is what is giving me the smile that you see on my face when I do my videos. So guys, this is the end of our video for today. I'm going to be doing more on this subject matter because guys, it's alarming. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this far. May God bless you. See you in our next video. Once more, Happy New Year. God bless you. Bye for now.